Welcome to Baby Daddies, a new podcast covering For the Love of DILFS Season 2. My name is Jake. I am one of your co-hosts. You might know me from my other podcast, which is the Poison Touch Advice Hour, where I, a gay, and his friends give you all the best and worst advice to deal with all of life's predicaments. Alongside me, I have Imario. Imario, let's introduce ourselves.
Hello. My name is Imario. You may know me on socials as Booty Origami. You may know my hole before my face, which is fine. They're both great to look at, but I am here and we're going to talk about these Himbos and these DILFs. I am so ready.
Oh, so we got the idea to do this podcast when we were watching season 1 because it's rare that a new reality show comes along and is so good, you know?
Very good.
So I figured we gotta hop on that horse. I do not think I found any other For Love of DILFs recaps. I saw 2 people on YouTube doing live reacts where, like, you know, so the person will sit in front of the camera, they'll watch it, you can hear the show in the back, and they'll talk about it. But I didn't see any recap podcasts, so I think we might be the first. If we're not, the girls will come for me. But if we are the first, so be it. So be it.
I mean, the girls already be coming for me anyway. So, I mean, I guess, you know.
Yeah, I don't want to Columbus ourselves. We're like, we found it, you know, and someone's like, actually, I've been reviewing it since season 1. You bitches are late by 1 season. But let's hop into this episode. I'm so excited for season 2. Season 1 was fantastic, but season 2 starts off. We get that fake ass dolphin in the intro. It's just clips of ass.
Wait, they got dolphins in Miami?
They got dolphins in Miami, but not in this bay.
Okay.
Bay. Are they in Miami or is it Fort Lauderdale? It's kind of give a Boca Raton. The producers are gonna hate me. The producers are gonna be like, actually, no, we're not. Get something but just a cease and desist. How do you feel about Stormy having this whole like, well, why'd they bring me back? Was anybody asking why they brought her back? She's a queen.
I mean, honestly, we were demanding Stormy be back. Like,
literally, she
gave me so much life in season 1, and just seeing her post, like, you know, I'll be back to host season 2. I was like, yes, thank you.
Yes,
like, my prayers have been answered.
I don't think I saw anybody being like, why is Stormy hosting? Give us someone gay. Because I felt like the whole reason they had her do it was she was like, okay, well, I'm bi, so I'm allowed to be here. That's kind of what it came off like, which I feel like she didn't have to do. You know, she's a queen. And I love her in a little half long sleeve dress, you know, which is one long sleeve. It barely covers the coochie. She got a big old feather there. It was a good fit.
It's just Stormy's just gorgeous. Like, I can't stop looking at her. Honestly, like, it's the low lights in the bottom, the highlights on top. It's just, it makes me feel at home. And also, like, the titties, like, just
you know, because she's a Southern belle. She's a woman. She's a Southern woman. So she really just has like a quality to her where you just want to trust her. Like, she starts talking and I'm like, I want to divulge my secrets to her, which is something you really want in a reality TV show host. So,
I would come out to Stormy. I would.
Oh, 100% I would come out to Stormy. Hell yeah. Let's get into these himbo entrances coming up next. The first himbo in is Aaron. Thoughts?
Aaron, he is very tall. Let me preface this with I am 5'4". So upon learning he was, what, 6'4"?
I think he's like 6'4", yeah.
I was like, okay, I'm going to climb him like a tree. His friends call him Gay Jesus. And I totally
he's
see
not brown enough for that. Jesus is a brown man, okay?
Jesus had an afro. But I think he's very cute. Figure skater, which I was like, okay, the girls brought the talent. Like, that's wild.
Okay.
Because the only other figure skater I know is Denali. I mean, I don't meet many figure skaters. I
really don't want to sound stupid, but I saw how he was dressed and I completely glossed over figure skater and thought he was a skater, like skater boy.
Like skater boy. Oh.
So now that you're saying it back to me, I'm like, oh, he is a figure skater. I saw the backwards hat and how he was dressed like a frat boy. I said, Tony Hawk.
I mean, didn't Dr. DILF call him like the DL frat boy? So I mean,
he did say that.
Wrong,
I think I'm being swayed by Dr. DILF clocking him as a frat boy. I kind of like that he was all very like based off vibes, you know, he's a little woo woo. He was like, you know, looking for the vibes, the energy. I gotta get my energy on them and feel them. I can kind of get with that. Next up is Nick Mask. I love when they give a last name. I think it's so fun. Because that's like a stage name then. Because, everyone else is like, here's my first name. But if you give us a full name, you better work.
It's just like a little extra. Ooh.
So Nick Mask walks out. He's not Mask. He says that he's 20, but then he corrects it to 30. He said, West Hollywood socialite. That is definitely someone who is hit their 20 when they're 30. It just makes perfect sense.
Honestly, the fact that he even just like looked straight at the camera and said, I'm Nick, I'm 20. 30. I was like, girl, how many times have you said this? Like, this has become a habit at this point.
He's a woman of the night, just like myself. He's a producer, a promoter, an MC, a host. So basically that means he's out every weekend being messy. I wonder if he contributes to West Hollywood phone theft.
They steal phones in West Hollywood?
Oh, are you unaware of this?
No, I didn't know about this.
Bitch, West Hollywood is known for phone theft. Like, it is crazy how many phones get stolen in West Hollywood. It's insane.
Do you think Nick would have been on Real Friends of WeHo season 1? Will we get a season 2 of that show?
If we ever get a season 2, he'll be on season 2. I'm sure.
I wouldn't mind more Nick. Like, it's just, I got to give it to her. The tattoos, the titties was right. I'm obviously a tit person. Like the titties, the tattoos, like it was kind of doing it.
I don't know, something in the face. He kind of gives me a little Keanu Reeves. If Keanu Reeves was like a small twunk. if Keanu Reeves was a 5'4" twunk, I think he could be Nick. Basically, if he was a different person, he could be.
I was like, oh, that's a lot of if this. Then.
If you change this, and this, he could be Keanu Reeves. I take it back. Reaching. I take it back. I'm going to literally strike it from the record. I think it's the way his mouth is shaped. I think he has a very similar shaped mouth. Sometimes I notice really weird things like that. Anyways, I think Nick will be an antagonist this season.
Oh, a villain?
I think so, but not like villainous all the time. I just think he's going to have an antagonistic relationship primarily with Aaron. I think the two of them are going to be going at it often. And I love that. That's great.
It's like, I'm so glad it's recorded because I would love to see them go at it. Oh, I can't wait to watch them go at it.
Oh, yeah. It's going to be like a Chihuahua and a Doberman.
So the next himbo is Rico. How do you feel about Rico?
In my notes, I wrote those arms in all caps. That man, I don't know how big those biceps are. They look humongous.
Massive.
Huge. And I say this, I got a little, you can't see behind the mic. I got a little bicep here. But yeah, I said those arms. I love that he's, we're kind of getting like top himbo representation. Which we got a little bit last season, but it was more like verse. It was verse himbo rep there. This is like, I'm looking to bend someone over and they better be thick and hairy. Which
he said he want a hairy culo, and I was like, you know what, baby, we are best friends. I love me a hairy culo. Like I
love a hairy ass.
Oh my god.
Floss it. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said that. Okay.
No, we'll keep it.
We're keeping it in. We're keeping it in. Speaking of, never mind. I'm not gonna. Next up is Daniel, who I am truly obsessed with. I don't think I've ever been more obsessed with a reality TV character more than Daniel.
You can lead this one. I know you want to.
Listen, Daniel's my favorite. I will stand Daniel more than I stand Phoenix last season.
That's a big stand.
And I stand Phoenix down. We will get back to when we start reviewing season 1 again after season 2 is done, and we can get into the Phoenix hype of it all. Oh. I love Daniel. He sounds like if the Big Boulay was trying to be sensual. He's like a sexy Kermit the Frog. When he said, "I want somebody, but I hope they want me too," and my double cheeseburgers. The double cheeseburgers? Everything he says is liquid gold. When I tell you, you could put all of it in a card, put it in a greeting card, put it in a funeral card. You could write it down, make it a lyric. Everything he says is genius. Like, he needs to be the most famous person from the cast.
You are honestly, like, objectively correct. I want to see Daniel on honestly every single reality show for the next 2 years. Like, I want House of Villains. I want The Traitors. I want Daniel in everything.
Put Daniel in, and not to get ahead of ourselves, But Daniel comes with a twist.
A twist, you say?
A twist.
A twist, not a silk press?
A twist. The silk press. This is press, baby. It is press. It looks good. I just love his voice. He got the double cheeseburgers. Everything he says is as if he's trying to seduce you, but he's also about to start laughing at the same time. And I love that. It's so endearing to me.
That is literally the perfect way to describe his voice. Like,
right. Because it would work on me. It would work on me down.
If Daniel walked up to me in a bar and just started talking, I like, you know what? Yeah, I'll go home. It's fine.
Exactly. All right. Last but not least, we have Keith. He is a server. Love that. Love that. I wrote, how is he that tall with an ass moving like that? It's not fair.
It's not. Honestly, it was like the second coming of Tokyo. Just all that ass in them shorts. And like the promo video when he walked out, it was just ass everywhere.
Well, I thought tall people weren't allowed to have an ass. This is crazy. Leave something for the short bitches. Leave something for the short bitches. I can't deal with this. He was posing in the B-roll, which I loved. He was giving us very Tyra model face.
The smiles.
You know? He was smizing. He also looks really familiar. I'm not sure why. I don't know. He just looks very familiar, but it could just be me. But yeah, Keith is cool. He seems kind of quiet. Yeah.
It's always the quiet ones you got to worry about, though.
I know. That's why I'm like, we'll see what he gets into. After that, we have Stormy's entrance. Rico loses his phone in the ocean, quote unquote, but it's not. Then he calls it a lake, but it's also not a lake; it's a bay. The production. We had a hot production guy go in and fish it out. Good for them. Stormy comes out in another dress. This one is like aquarium rock blue. She looks great.
Oh, it looks so good on her skin.
Yeah, she looks great. I mean, blue is her color. I have that written down in my notes. I said blue is her color, and she had that like light blue eyeshadow. It was really cute too.
Oh. Yes. And Dr. DILF said he got the best drag queen to do her makeup from Florida. And I'm like, did Morphine and Maya do her makeup? I wonder.
I was trying to think who else is from Miami. I was like, who else is a Miami girl?
It's them too. Miss Morphine, who runs Sephora like the Navy.
Oh, you know damn what. Dr. DILF walking into Morphine Sephora. I love when she says, I had to change my panties. I just had to say that. When she says, I had to change my panties already. Gagged.
She was talking about her panties and how wet they are. And she said, you get to see the daddies, but not yet. So let's bring them on out. And first out is Big Sal. And they don't call him big because of his height. That's what Dr. DILF said.
They call him big for his money. That boy got Wall Street money.
Retired Wall Street executive. That's what he said.
Retired Wall Street executive. That face is pumped, baby. You could. He paid for that face. He worked hard for that money. But I will say, he has a very endearing smile.
He does have a very nice smile. Like, I feel like I could just like lay on his chest and just like, you know, just be
like when he was talking, I was like, I feel like he's kind of putting on for the camera a bit. But then he would smile, and I'm like, that smile just looks genuine. He's got a very genuine smile, which I can appreciate. After that, Jimmy walks out. I fully was expecting an Irish accent when he popped out.
Is it trauma from season 1?
It might be. I was like, are we just getting an Irish person every season? I was expecting an accent out of him. He looks like he should have an accent. It's weird.
You do. And Jimmy is a local girl, a Chicago queen.
Yep, local queen alert.
We finally got someone from Chicago on TV. I mean, finally. I guess, you know, they couldn't get any of the queens on Drag Race, but you know what? I'll take a DILF. I'll take a Chicago daddy. I love a Chicago daddy.
When was the last time we had a queen on Drag Race from Chicago?
Was it like Shea Coulee in the All Stars?
No, well, I guess All Stars. Yeah, I thought I was gonna say the Mackie doll. What's her name?
Oh, Kimora and Denali.
Yeah, Kimora and Denali are both Chicago. So yeah, I thought that was the last one we had was Kimora and Denali. But yeah, All Stars. Shay went back on. Utica now lives here. We got a bunch of girls now. Where are we? Oh, when
we were talking about
Jimmy. The one thing that he says that pings me like bing, 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 bing. When he says, I can see in someone who's younger an old soul. I've always been an old soul. Wording like that, I just don't ever think it.
I just never liked the term old soul. Like,
yeah. Maybe that is a child. Just because a kid is like quiet, like that's not an old soul. That is an introvert, actually. But that's a conversation for another day, for another episode. We can cover that on Poison
Mm-hmm.
Touch if we need to. But for now, we move on to Nigel Battle. Once again, I love when they give a full name.
Mm-hmm.
Nigel Battle's kind of a badass name. He's from New Jersey. That's a Jersey sister.
Uh-huh.
That's a Jersey sister. That's a king right there. I kind of think he's like the Tony Cannoli of the season. And bear with me, I don't mean personality wise. I just mean in the fact that he's like all about love. He's here for love. He's like very like Prince Charming in that way. Like he's here for the love, you know?
I love the bear joke with the bears. I have to give you flowers for that.
Wait, what did I say?
You were like, bear with me, and he's a bear. I thought you did that on purpose.
No, I didn't. I did not. No, pun not intended. But you know what? Actually, yes, it was intended. No, I have no idea. Oh. Shout out to the bald Latinos with beards. They are legion. They are numerous. Mm-hmm. There are hundreds of them. I think he'd be very popular in Chicago if he showed up here.
I know we talked about Sal's smile, but can we talk about Nigel's smile? Because it's just Nigel, so heartwarming. Yes,
he also does have a very heartwarming smile. He's someone I would also come out to, you know?
I would come out tonight.
Yeah, he gives kind of like, I was going to say youth pastor vibes, but I'm thinking more like English teacher vibes. The English teacher vibes.
Okay, yeah.
Somebody exactly that you could trust, you know? Yeah, I would trust him.
Then after Nigel, we get the Haitian daddy, Looters,
who looks extremely young for 42.
He said he was 42. My jaw dropped to the ground. I was like, there is no way because actually, I think didn't Daniel say black don't crack?
Yes. But I don't know why you're so shocked, girl. You're going to look like that at 42.
Can I be tall like that at 42?
Is Looters tall?
He looks tall. I mean, not as tall as Aaron, but maybe it's just because he's slim. He looked tall.
Maybe I thought he looks like he would be my height. I think.
I mean, I'd say everyone's taller than me. Anyways.
All right. Well, yeah.
But Looters, oh my God. So skin just flawless. The beard is perfectly lined up. The outfit is correct. The skin tight green and black fit. It's just,
the confessional look is probably my favorite. I think I wrote that. I think out of anyone's confessional look, he is my favorite. And last but not least, we have Kane, who is a Aussie yoga instructor, who they call him Daddy Kane. I think he kind of looks like a Keebler elf. He looks very sweet.
Oh.
He kind of looks like he looked like he would make cookies in a tree, but like in a very nice way. Like it's not shade. Like he just looks really nice.
I wrote Fang's uncle ? In my notes.
Not Fang Aruba. Kane Aruba. He's very woo woo. I feel like him and Aaron would get along.
Mm-hmm.
After that, so everyone else is blindfolded. The daddies are only allowed to say one thing. They're allowed to say, "I am your daddy." I said, "Oh God, here come the voices." So we're just going to really quick because there's not a whole lot to talk about here, I don't think. Aaron is like, I'm going to hug everybody. It kind of reminds me of that guy in that online dating show where he kept on hugging the women and turning them away when they weren't the body type he wanted. But I don't think that's what Aaron's doing. I think Aaron truly is just going off vibes. So he picks Sal. Sal is like, oh, damn, I was picked first. Sal's definitely looking at Nick. 100%.
Oh, hard looking at Nick.
100%. Then Nick is like walking around. He starts going to everyone. He goes up to Nigel and says, "Oh, she's hairy."
And Nick did say that. And I was like, oh.
And Nigel, the way he says, "I'm your daddy," his voice dropped damn near 3 octaves for that. Meanwhile, in his confession, he was like, "I'm here for love." Listen, I work.
Listen, we love a multiphonic queen, okay?
So Nick ends up picking Kane because of his man stank. And then Nick says something that I don't think he understands. He was like, I love a little man funk. It's like a menage a trois. I don't think he knows what a menage a trois is.
Do they do those in West Hollywood?
But I don't know. Maybe the menage a trois between a thief, a phone, and someone else. But I don't see how man funk is a 3-way unless the funk is like so odorous that it's a third person.
Maybe like the funk given form. Like maybe that's what it is.
I don't know. Rico goes straight for Nigel and immediately picks him.
Did he even look at the other two after Nigel?
After Nigel, no. He hugged like there was maybe one person in front, right? Because Sal had already been picked. So then he hugs, he grabs Jimmy's ass and then goes to hug Nigel, grabs Nigel's ass, sees how furry he is. Well, not sees, he feels how furry he is and says, "Yep. I think he says, "Ay santo," and then he just grabs him and walks away. They were casted for each other. Match made in heaven right there.
Absolutely.
Daniel says his eyes are wide closed. He picks looters.
He did. And Dr. Dilf did be like, what is eyes wide closed but legs open? Something like that.
Something
And,
like that. But I believe it. And then Keith is kind of an odd couple with Jimmy. He checks his feet. And then I don't get, they're like, it was fate. Girl, the producers. Is it fate? I don't know. Yeah, so really quickly they take up their thing. They get a quick look at each other. Daniel, the only thing I have to note of here, Daniel immediately jumps on looters and says, come in me.
Can you do it again?
He says, come in me. Oh, it's so fucking funny. Then everybody splits up to go on dates. Jimmy asks Keith about laundry and how often he does laundry. How often
Which I never thought of as a loaded question, but then when he explained it, I was like, wait, that is actually a good question.
Yeah. Oh, because if you say, oh, I don't do my laundry, I have someone who does it for me, that tells me things. If you say I do my laundry every week, that also tells me something. If you say it every 2 weeks, that also, like, you really do get a decent amount of information off that. That's kind of smart. I'm going to start taking that.
Then we had Aaron and Big Sal together. They got in the pool, had like a little poolside date. And I thought it was really interesting that Sal took off his shirt first and then Aaron took off his shorts first. So it made me think, like, is there like an order of things when you get into a pool? Like, I was just like, wait, have I ever taken my shorts off first?
I think I've always taken my shirt off first. Shirt, then shorts.
Yeah, I've always done shirts and shorts. It was just like a little like cute little flip-flop thing. So Aaron and Sal had their poolside date, which was very cute. And Aaron asked about live music. Then Aaron was saying that he went to see the Spice Girls. And Sal made a big old face
Bitch,
when he mentioned Spice Girls.
Gas. I don't know what Sal got against the Spice Girls. Maybe they did him wrong a couple years ago. Who knows? But he was pissed.
Was not happy. They had like a real cute kiss. And then
was it cute?
Like, I mean,
I feel like I have a different recollection of this date. To me, I was not seeing it for them. Aaron was steamrolling Sal down. He was like completely
dominating the conversation.
Yes, he was completely dominating this conversation. I did think the kiss was hot. I'll give them that. The kiss was cute. They started going at it. I think there was like physical chemistry, but I don't think they have any personality chemistry together.
Let me use that word then. The kiss was hot. I like that they, broke the fourth wall a little bit. Like, I didn't even feel like we were being watched or something to that effect. As, you have the boom mic, in the corner, the three cameras in the water. I was like, okay, I love a fourth wall moment. That's why I watched the show.
Yeah, it was just a little bit of a surprise. It was a little surprise. The thing is, for me, Aaron was like, oh my God, he's so interesting, blah, 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 blah. And like, we are witnessing the most one-sided conversation ever take place.
I was just watching it with rose-tinted glasses. Okay.
Maybe this has popped out on the second viewing, but I think on the first viewing, I may have been a little less harsh on it. But for the opposite of Rico and Nigel, maybe that I had rose-tinted glasses on for that, because I see them and I'm like, just give them the fucking money.
I saw the same thing. I was like, give them the 10K because they have already made it. Like, it just.
Yeah. The only thing
I love the Shape of Water reference.
That sticks out here. Oh, yeah. He does say the Shape of Water. He does say like water stuff. Rico kind of reads him a little bit for his YouTube stuff. I'm like, why? Just let the man create. He completely ignored the whole medical assistant part of his job. He ignored the whole healthcare thing and was just like, this man's making YouTube at his big age. Girl.
And it was medical assistant specialized in dermatology, which skin is complicated.
Yeah.
And you just skipped over that. But like, he made, like you said, YouTube at his big age. I was like, girl, I don't know. I mean, them YouTubers are making money. So I don't.
Well, he's he's on his way to be a dermatologist. They make hella money. So it'll be fine either way, no matter what takes off.
I don't know. Rico made me a little mad right there, but I gotta forgive him.
Yeah.
I mean, he's gonna choke me until I forgive him anyway. So
they talk about wanting something real, and I had this thought. I was like, do you think that something real could come from a reality TV show?
I think I don't know. Okay. Reality dating show or just reality TV in general?
Reality dating show specifically.
Reality dating show. I feel like something could, but honestly, I feel like the chances are low because, like, I don't know. I feel like it's how do I explain this? I feel like it's low because like you're all here doing the money, like you're here for the job, the contract. So can you find love on the job? I don't know.
For
I
me,
feel like it's like a murky area.
I agree. I think it's like reality TV is like a pressure cooker situation, right? You're under like stress no matter what, whether it's filming stress or competition stress or both. And everyone's high emotions. There's drinks flowing. People are feeling things. I think that pressure cooker kind of aspect can spur a connection. Do I know if that's maybe like the best foundation for a relationship? I don't know, because what happens when you leave the competition setting and all of a sudden it's just the two of you like chilling, but you're craving that like spontaneity that you had when you were stuck on a reality show, I don't know, but I'm optimistic for them. I want the best for both of them. So far they are my pick to win.
I'm framing your paragraph as, is it love or is it a trauma response? So on
basically, to Daniel. Yeah. And then we get Looters and Daniel. Once again, I said everything Daniel says is liquid gold. Looters says that he's 42. We already went over that. Daniel keeps doing these like little exhales, these like little sounds. He's like, oh, and I love that. He says that Looter is very like, oh, whereas he's very like, and, I kind of feel that.
I really like the multiple kisses they had whenever Looter's like, I'm trying to find out if your lips match my lips. So, we need to test it out. And then it was just like the back of the neck grip kiss. Girl, I thought like I was getting gripped. And then he was just like, well, you my baby or something like that.
He said, that's my baby.
That's my baby. I was like, oh my God. Like, bitch, I need to change my panties too.
And then last but not least, we have Nick Mask and Kane. They talk about promoter stuff. Kane's like, he's probably not the same place I am, but he likes to get travel. Nick says you get plus 3 points for an accent. Do you agree?
I don't agree with Nick totally calling him a 4 and then like backpedaling on it. Like,
do you think he was actually calling him a 4, or do you think he was just making a point and then it just came out the wrong way?
He could have been making a point, came out the wrong way, but girl, why you start with the number 4? Why you can't like say 5 or 6? At least give me something in the middle to start with. I don't know.
Yeah, I think if I was making that same comparison, I would probably be like, yeah, I always tell people if you're like an 8, you're an 11 because of the accent. Like start off higher. There's no why start at 4?
And Kane was like, are you calling me a 4? And then Nick was like, no, I'm not calling you that. Like I would have felt the same way. Like I ain't no 4.
Yeah, exactly. Who you calling a 4? But okay, then we get another montage of the house because they love to show off this house. They paid for it, y'all. They're renting it out. And then we see Jimmy and Keith going at it in the elevator. I said, they do not play. These boys are horny boots.
The mic is on. The cameras are on. We are watching intently.
Yeah. I didn't have too much to write here. The one thing I did write was Sal talks about, the great loves of his life and how he was in relationships for 21 years, and then he took the last 10 years of his life to find himself. And I'm like, oh my God, I like seeing him about to start crying and I'm about to start crying. I'm such a baby. I hear people crying, I'm just like, I immediately just start crying. I can't.
No, that was I just wanted to give Sal a big old hug. I mean, all the daddies did, because he deserved it. Like that, he'd been through a lot. Because he said he was 60, and I didn't believe that, but that technically would have made him like, well, I think you said like 20 around when the AIDS crisis happened.
Yeah.
So he would have like lived through that and still found love after. And Sal deserves the world, honestly.
Our old gays are important. Then on the himbo situation, we have kind of the opposite. The daddies are like all hugging each other. Meanwhile, the himbos, Aaron is like, okay, listen, I want your daddy. Nick said, oh, I have some really good advice about that. Stay the fuck away.
He kind of gathered him, not gonna lie.
He kind of ate that. And like I said, I feel like they're going to have an antagonistic relationship between each other this entire season, which I'm kind of here for. The producer asks Aaron and says, like, do you think he's just here to play the game? And Aaron's like, yeah, Nick's definitely here to play the game. But I'm like, girl, aren't you all here to play the game? The game is to find somebody and get $10,000. I think you're all here for the game, no? Why can't you be here for the game and for love? You can be here for both. I'm not saying that one negates the other. You could totally play the game and find love. Yeah. And then Daniel brings up the looters PJ situation. This is the beginning of Pajama Gate.
Man, you're calling it right now.
Hashtag Pajama Gate. Yeah.
So if a man gave you pajamas, would you wear them? He said he got them as a gift for his himbo, whoever would choose him.
Yes, but I don't know if I would wear it if it was the first thing. This first night, I probably wouldn't. I probably would have taken Daniel's side. If we're like, say this pajama party happened episode 3.
Okay.
And he was like, here, I got you some silk pajamas. We can match tonight. You know, when we have more of an established connection, I would be like, oh, that's so cute. That's so endearing. Hell yeah, let's match. That's so fun. But for episode 1, knowing that this is the chance for them to be like, if you want to talk to other people, now's your time to talk to other people. For him to be like, here, staking my claim, wear these, don't talk to nobody else. I'm with Daniel. I'm standing your ground. I did bring my own stuff, you know?
I mean, I cannot wait for the rest of the season because you're going to do Daniel's voice every time you have to paraphrase him.
I did bring my own stuff. I love. And then we get to the actual pajama party. Not many of them are like in PJs. They're just kind of in like boxers and shirts, which I guess is PJs.
PJs or whatever you make of them, I guess. I don't know. I was kind of expecting like, like a full silk set. Maybe not a silk set, like a full set like Looters had on. Like when I think of pajama party, I think of that. Like,
Exactly. Because I sleep naked. Look. So like my PJ party would have been me in my birthday suit. But if I'm going to a pajama party, I'm expecting like a flannel or like a silk set or one of those little nightcaps, a little honk shoe, something like that. I don't know. Stormy walks in. She's in a pajama fit. Lingerie. It's so camp. I love it. The girls are on display. She looks great. She's perfect.
And then she says, I got a twist for you. Again, not a silk press.
Not a silk press. But, and yet somehow it is a silk press because out walks, let me not get ahead of myself. First walks in Anthony. That man is squinting. He's a bartender, just like me. I love that. He's got nice hair, nice tats. He seems a little bit quiet. He's a father. He's 40. He's fine as hell.
Fine as hell.
He's fine. But yeah, I feel like he didn't give us too much to go off of. His intro was pretty quick.
And then, you know what? No, I'll let you handle this. I know you want to do it.
Just when I thought Daniel couldn't get better, they introduced not his twin, Derek. I'm obsessed. I was like, oh my God, there's 2 of them. I can't believe this. Anything they say, I am listening. The way they talk to each other is so good because you could tell how much, like how close they are. So when the 2 of them start riffing off of each other, like later on in the episode, they're talking about Anthony and Daniel looks at Derek and says, you like him, don't you? And Derek says, yeah, he's pretty. And they just keep going back and forth. I love my favorite sexy Kermit the Frogs. I love the Hard twins. They say, but Hard is nice too. But Looters looks stressed, like he wants both Daniel and Derek for himself, which, listen, I can't fault him for that. I cannot fault him.
Listen, for they both fine. I don't blame Looters.
Yeah, and they got fun personalities too. Like I can't fault you for that. So Derek's having this 3-way date, but it's not really a 3-way date. Near immediately, you can see Kane sitting in the corner, and Derek's fully turned toward Anthony. He says, Anthony, well, how are you doing? So Derek's like over Kane. I think when they gave Derek the choice to like choose the daddies, I'm pretty sure he just chose Kane. I don't think he had Anthony as the option, but Anthony chose Derek. So maybe they did have the option. I don't know. Because Derek looked genuinely surprised when he was chosen. So, but Derek's feeling Anthony immediately. Kane is just kind of there as like character development fodder. It's very funny. They're riffing off each other. It's cute. I'm already shipping them. My favorite couples so far are Derek, Anthony, and Rico Nigel. And then we swap over to a different 3-way date. This is the Phoenix Situation Part 2, the remix, Season 2, the Rue Up.
Oh my God, it was Nick and Kane. And they was getting along. And then Aaron walks up because you can talk to any of the daddies.
This is
And Aaron walks up and was just like, hey, I'm
his
here to
big ass
talk to
comes
Kane.
up to these two 5'3" men, says, "Move over, bitch."
And then Nick says, actually, I can't. There's pillows here. And then Aaron says, it's okay. I'll move them. Here's one. Here's two. I'm not moving the third because I'm not a servant.
That gagged me when he said that. That show, I was like, oh my God. But the real tea is that if Kane if he was real slick, he would have moved over with Nick and put himself in between Nick and Aaron. Have Aaron on one side, Nick on the other. And that way, you can still talk and engage L3. But no, Kane just like let it happen, which kind of feeds into Kane not being as dominant. Because that's something that Nick mentions in the bedroom earlier that we didn't really talk about that much. But he does say that he feels like Kane isn't that dominant, which he would have liked. And if he was dominant, he would have been like, oh, okay, yeah, sure. But I'm sitting in the middle.
So you think Kane just did it for television?
No, I just think Kane is just not a super dominant person. And that's okay. It's fine.
It's okay, y'all. I'm trying to start some drama over here.
But yeah, Aaron and Kane start talking astrology. I already feel like they're on the same wavelength. They're very woo-woo together. I already pinned this from the start. I figured that they are getting along well. We swap over to Keith and Jimmy, Rico and Nigel in the kitchen, which I appreciate them being in the kitchen rather than like on the couch. Because if everybody's just on couches, I'm like, all right, there's not much to look at. I kind of like that they're standing in the kitchen. I love a standing in the kitchen moment at a house party.
Oh, absolutely. They're the best. You make your best friends in the kitchen. Exactly.
I'm always in the if it's a house party, bitch, I'm in the kitchen. Down. And Rico brings up in probably the worst way that he could, in the middle of conversation, says, well, I have a red flag I'd like to address with you, Nigel. And Nigel's voice dropped. Nigel's voice drops. And Rico says, so you do YouTube content. So does that mean you're not here to find love and find something serious? And Nigel's like, oh, no. That actually falls to the wayside. Yeah. I think actually the fact that Rico brought it up like this is more of a red flag than anything else.
Because this totally could have been like a little like side, like, we're having a date conversation, which didn't they already bring that up in the date? Or was it just like a confessional thing?
I think he just said it in his confessional.
Okay. Because, yeah, I feel like, while there's like another couple in the room, we're all just like, getting to know each other since we've been sequestered.
Yeah.
Like, just to be like, you on YouTube for a job. Is you here for love or is it money? I'd be kind of looking there if I was Keith, like, ooh.
Yeah. If I'm Keith and Jimmy, I'm over here like,
well, actually,
I'm lapping it up.
They were just up there making out the whole time.
They were. But, I don't even think they were probably paying attention. They I don't know what, but those two, like, they're an odd couple, but they are feeling each other, and I kind of love that for them. They're like always on each other. They got something going on. But yeah, the way Rico brought that up, to me, is more of a red flag than anything else. It's more of a red flag, not just to bring it up like in a public setting like that, but to say that you think it's like, just like, I don't know, he could have had a little more care when bringing it up.
A little tact,
A little tact. Come on, a little home training. Speaking of home training, we move on to Daniel and Luter's Pajama Gate continues, and Daniel lets Luters know you're not about to control nobody. Do you think Luters was trying to control Daniel here?
I think it was a little much to bring it up again. Like the first time they had the conversation, like, will you wear it for me? At some point, like, maybe, if I'm feeling you, then I'm like, okay, yeah. But then to bring it up like again in the same night, like, so will you wear the pajamas? It's like, girl, you not finna control me.
I think the first time was fine.
On Daniel's side.
When the second time happens, you're right. That's when I was like, why are you pushing the point? This man already say he don't want to wear them. Like, why can't you just take it? If he wants to wear them later, he'll put them on. I think to belabor the point like that and bring it back up, I'm like, oh my God. So yeah, I'm with Daniel. Well, he said, I will turn up if I need to.
Maybe he got them on the Fenty sale and he was like, I'm going to make sure this fit is seen on television. Maybe it was that.
If he wanted to have them seen so much, he should have worn them himself. Woo?
Oh.
Whoa.
Clock that T.
Clock that T. Clock that T. Speaking of, no, wait, that's not a good segue. And then we end. Speaking of tea, wait, it kind of is tea though, because we then, you know, Stormy spins a big plastic bottle and they have this fake ass bottle noise.
Wait, it was plastic. I thought it was. I heard the glass.
But that shit was inflatable boots. And it lands on Keys and says, "Who should go home?" Famous question. Happens first episode, kind of a gag, but also not really a gag because it was like the quickest moment. They like literally did it and then ended the episode. Key says that Looter should go home because of Pajama Gate. Nice to see that the Himbos are on Daniel's side. I can appreciate that. I like that.
Class solidarity.
Yeah, solidarity between Himbos. I love that.
I thought someone was going to bring it up another notch because she was like, you know what? Something else for you. And then the, you know, cymbal scrapes, cymbal swells, and then I'm going to bed. And then
she
just edged us.
I thought we were gonna spin the bottle a couple more times and get everyone else who they like. I was expecting more people to say who they think should go home, but I don't know. They just gave us the Key says Looter, and it wasn't even like Looter really felt some type of way about it. He was like, "Oh, okay."
It's like I don't get a chance to defend myself, and then that was it. I want to see some tears on the first episode.
Exactly. I wanted to see Looters be like, "Well, I think you should go home." You know, like I wanted a little more back and forth there, but maybe we'll get that episode 2. Because maybe episode 2 will start off and be like, "Well, yesterday at the pajama party, blah 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 blah."
I can't wait for someone to, you know, come in with the Real Housewives and know the argument. You know what, y'all? Let's just put a pin in it. We have a challenge to go to, and then they just bottle it in. I love bottled up emotions. Can we stop
fighting? It's my birthday. I just want everyone to be happy on my birthday.
My God, Joshua, you are a queen. I love you.
Yeah, Prince Joshua, you really are a prince. That brings us to the end of the episode. Are you excited for the season? What are you excited for?
I'm really excited, honestly, to see Nigel and Rico because they had the season, like, you know, here's what happens on season 2. They showed a lot of good scenes, but lots of good, just like, honestly, when Nigel is like, you know, to be like fully appreciated, it just makes you feel like a way. Honestly, that made me feel really good 100%. Inside. Like, 100%. I want them to find love.
Yeah. And there's really that clip of the two of them sobbing. I'm wondering what that's about. Out. And then we see at least 2 more people enter the house. It looks like another himbo and another daddy. Some curly-haired twink and
this fine ass man.
Yeah, like, he was pretty
really fine. He was only there for like 5 seconds of like the season trailer.
Yeah, well, I'm also not sure if he's a daddy or a himbo because he looks really young.
I mean, Looters.
I mean, we've established Black don't crack, so maybe you know, he's also secretly 42. Who knows at this point? Who do you think's winning so far? If you had to judge it based off of this episode, who's winning? Just
this episode alone, who am I giving the 10K to?
Yeah.
Honestly, I would probably say Rico and Nigel. Like they just, I see the love. I see it happening. I think they're going to make it all the way.
I want to say them, but I'm afraid that we're getting so much upfront that they're going to give us some conflict halfway through the season. And that's what worries me. I'm worried. I don't want us to have another,
another Tokyo and Tony.
Tokyo and Tony. I almost just said Tokyo Tony situation, but yeah, that is the Tokyo and Tony. Yeah, I didn't want us to have another. I'm scared. So it's between them or it's between Anthony and Derek. I feel like Anthony and Derek are going to be getting on fabulously.
Ooh,
yeah, I'm excited. I can't wait.
I was like, I want you to say it, so I had to mouth it to you.
I can't wait. We're going to watch episode 2 this next coming week. Thanks for tuning in to Baby Daddies, the unofficial, maybe the premiere. Who knows if we're the first? I don't know. I don't want to say if we're the first. I don't want to be Columbus like that, but maybe the first for the Love of DILFS recap podcast. And we'll catch you next time for another juicy, juicy episode. And I ain't talking about the asses. I'm talking about the drama. Ooh, because you're a little ooh or you're a little ee.
Yep.
Bye.
Bye.